Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today as I present my capstone project, Empowering Elderly Adults by Melissa Ng. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss adult learning, focusing specifically on individuals aged 50 and above. We will begin by exploring the proposed problem and solution, which will set the stage for a detailed examination of my design document. This document outlines the creation of an engaging e-learning course on identifying and combating online scams for seniors. Additionally, I will present a literature review that delves into adult learning methodologies and their application in course development and training. Let's dive right in, shall we? Problem: elder adults ages 50 plus are more susceptible to online and digital scams, such as fraudulent social media advertisements, phishing emails, and deceptive text messages about package delays. This vulnerability is often exacerbated by their hesitation and the lack of confidence in using technology, making them more likely to fall for scams and resistant to online learning. Proposed solution: conduct a comprehensive study of adult learning methodologies to develop an accessible and user-friendly course. This course will provide essential information, realistic scenarios, and practical training-tests aimed at reducing the susceptibility of adults to online and digital scams. The e-learning course will be designed and implemented using articulate storyline. So the first question is, why e-learning? E-learning offers numerous advantages over traditional learning methods. For seniors, the ease of accessibility allows them to take courses from anywhere, which is particularly beneficial for those who may no longer be able to drive. Additionally, e-learning provides an opportunity for family members and friends to join in, fostering a positive and collaborative learning environment. Furthermore, with the rapid advancement of technologies, seniors can often feel left behind. By integrating e-learning into their daily routines, they can boost their confidence and morale. Let's examine the design document I created, which highlights the essential components and processes involved in designing this e-learning course targeting online scams and seniors.
Hello and welcome to the instructional design document, aka the ID project, part of the presentation. We're going to highlight mainly the key aspects for this part, mainly because for the sake of time, and secondly, do check out the actual document itself located on my website. So for the table of contents, we have the need for project, the analysis, context analysis, instructional analysis, design, development, evaluation, and personal learning statement. So skimming through all of this, just so you guys can get a hint and an idea, the main purpose of the ID project was mainly used to kind of get a gauge on what the problem was. And for my personal problem I wanted to investigate was elderlies and their use of technology, specifically their use of technology revolving around online scams. And so that's where we dove into the whole idea of interviewing a couple of elder adults, ages 50 and up, to kind of get an idea of how often or how much do they use social media or any form of technology, whether it be using a smartphone, text messaging, etc., etc. So once we got an idea of the audience, we were able to design the actual ID project. So for my course itself, I did end up developing a articulate course, aka like an e-learning course. And so what really helped out with this ID document was really breaking it down into steps to make sure that I cover each topic, to make sure that the audience, aka the learner, is getting the full dose of everything, making sure that from what they're learning, they're able to apply it into real life. So throughout the ID project, I was able to break things down into sections and then from there apply some knowledge checks to kind of just make sure that as they're going through the course that they are still understanding and they can apply real life scenario through the knowledge checks. At the very end of the course, I also included a final test, kind of like a wrap-up review, just to make sure that what they've learned is actually being reinforced. And for this particular course itself, I wanted it to be more casual, lesser so than something that was super formal and like kind of nerve-wracking, so they can go at their own pace. But yes, skimming through the rest of the design project, let's take a look at some more portions. These were all the objectives that we broke down, so that way we know what the learners should be learning, and then applying what activities should be done during each objective. The development stage, which I will show you guys the course at the very end, is right over here. You can check out the script, storyboard, and etc. And then the evaluation was done at the very end after they took the course itself, the e-learning course, to kind of get better feedback on how I can enhance the e-learning course for future use as well. But other than that, that kind of more or less wraps up the IED design document. Do definitely check it out so you can see it in great details along with my personal learning statement as well. Thanks!
For the design of my e-learning course, I gathered valuable insights on senior adults' preferences through the interview process detailed in the design document. The key components I ensure to include are appropriate font sizes and colors, carefully choosing vocabulary with a glossary, vibrant images and illustrations, and large, easy-to-navigate buttons. One of the most intimidating aspects of technology for senior adults is the overwhelming amount of information on the screen. By designing a course that is simple, engaging, and easy to navigate, we can enhance their enjoyment and reduce frustration during the training process.
Hello and welcome to my literature review, Seniors and Their Adaptation to Technology, a literature review on the benefits and challenges seniors face with modern technology. So let's jump right into it. So with this literature review, I was able to gain a lot of insight on seniors and technology, specifically how they learn and their learning styles. So throughout the literature review, I was able to discover that a lot of elders do find a lot of challenges when learning via technology, rather it be on a computer, on an iPad, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I was able to use a lot of preferences and a lot of studies done throughout the literature review to get a better insight on how to enhance their learning experience. A big portion of it mainly talked about being able to have accessibility. So rather it be having more of auditorial, so being able to listen to narration, having a visual, aka being able to read along with the words on the screen, or have more pictures, more graphs to help enhance their learning. The next big thing that the literature review discovered was this area right here, mobile apps for adult learning. And they mainly talked a lot about having like little game aspects, so maybe some knowledge check. But more importantly, the size of the font, being able to have bigger buttons for them to click on and easier for them to navigate. Because the most frustrating thing a lot of the elders expressed were that they had a hard time just navigating the software itself or the e-learning program. And so in terms of older adults learning style and studies, it mainly talked about different generation had their own like learning styles. So that's important to know since for us, the upcoming generation that will be in the senior level that I'm targeting will have their own learning style. But other than that, this mainly wraps up my literature review. I was able to gain a bunch of insight on just adult learning, specifically senior learning and technology, and I was definitely able to apply this for my e-learning course. Thanks.
Moving forward, now that we have data to support our e-learning design for seniors, let me break down the design process. Based on my skills and knowledge from this program and my work experience, the routine for building a course from start to finish includes the following steps: scripting and storyboarding, narration, creating a question file and interactive activities, building a template, gathering assets such as images, sound clips, and other multimedia, constructing the physical course, and conducting an internal review to implement any necessary revisions. You can check out my storyboard and question file for this course in my Capstone portfolio.
Hello and welcome to my e-learning course that I have made for this Capstone project. So if you guys don't recognize this program, this is Articulate Storyline, also known as Articulate 360. So let's jump right to it. So for the course itself, I've broken it down into multiple sections, 4 sections to be specific, just so that way it doesn't overwhelm the user and we're able to organize each topic. In addition to that, let's just go straight into an example. We have lots of vibrant pictures to keep the learners very engaged and to keep their eyes active. On top of that, we also have full narration that takes place throughout the entire course, along with the text on screen for the user to follow along as well. In addition to that, we have, again, vibrant picture that matches the text on screen so they are able to connect the visual along with the auditorial. So let's go into a different aspect. On top of that, we also have graphs that are throughout as well. And if you notice the texts are overlapping right here, well, no worries. This is actually built in for the animation part. So we do include animation throughout the entire course to once again keep the learners engaged. Speaking of being engaged, We have lots of different interactives, so let me show you. For example, we have lots of different clicking interactive. So for here, you would click on number 1 and it would reveal a new layer. You would then close it and rinse and repeat. So lots of different motor active skills to keep the learners engaged and interested throughout. In addition to that, we have scenario quizzes, which I like to call knowledge check throughout as well, just to kind of make sure that the learner's understanding the content in each section. And that way it kind of uses as a good review as well. In addition to that, we also have different videos that will play throughout the course as well. So again, different multimedia to keep the learners engaged. In addition to that, let's keep going on. So I won't necessarily go over the content itself because I truly encourage you to take the e-learning course itself that you can find on my website. It's super fun, super interactive, and I hope that you're able to get some brilliant ideas from it. So here's another example. You would be able to click on a button and it would reveal another text. Last but not least, so with the mix of multimedia, I do also have a final quiz at the very end. Now, this quiz is meant more to be very casual. That way that the learner enjoys what they're actually doing and they don't feel anxious or pressured, because I want this to be more of a good, relaxed learning experience versus something that's very, very formal. So here are examples of the different questions. We have multiple choice right over here, along with all that applies. So they would select multiple answer that applies to the question. But overall, this wraps up my e-learning course. And like I mentioned again, definitely do check it out. You're able to take the entire course from head to toe with full narration, full animation, and beautiful images throughout. So yeah, let's go check it out.
Based on the feedback from the post-course evaluation, there are several areas I aim to improve in future courses. These include incorporating more interactive activities and examples, and potentially adding language options such as Mandarin and Spanish. Additionally, I am considering implementing triggers to lock certain progress buttons until all tasks on the screen are completed. Overall, I've gained valuable insights on how to enhance my future courses. I am delighted by the positive feedback, which indicates that the course has successfully broadened participants' knowledge, boosted their confidence, and sparked their interest in technology. This concludes my capstone presentation. If you're intrigued and curious about the rest of my course, which I only briefly showcased, please visit my portfolio. There, you can take the entire course and experience it for yourself. Thank you all again for joining me and Go Cougs! Signing out, Melissa Ng.